The first free DLC for Battlefield 5 arrived on December 4th, brought a bunch of cool additions to the game, new customization items, and fixes across all modes. As you already know, Battlefield 5 will only have a free DLC through the Tides of War service, eliminating season passes and paid expansions altogether. Today we're going over all the important changes Overture, the first chapter of Tides of War, includes. Are you ready? Before we start, make sure to subscribe to Pixel Enemy and hit the bell button to get notified for all new cool uploads. I'm Wes Malik, and this is what's new in the Tides of War Chapter 1 Overture in Battlefield 5. A new war story. DICE had made it clear before the release of Battlefield 5 that the DLC through the Tides of War will include new, action-filled war stories. Overture brings the first one of those single-player stories, The Last Tiger. This one is located in the Rhine-Ruhr region, and you'll be joining the Tiger Crew number 237 as they're controlling a Tiger 1 tank through a destroyed city and a broken warfront. As the developers revealed, The Last Tiger gameplay is built around tank combat in an urban environment. This is a setting where managing sightlines and tank facing are key, as you can turn a street corner and suddenly find yourself in a completely different combat scenario. Hit enemy vehicles where they're most vulnerable while keeping the front of your vehicle facing them for maximum protection. This is the first part of the Overture DLC, and we're already seeing the heavy influence of infantry. We'll see more of that later on. New multiplayer map. The biggest addition of Overture for players mostly enjoying multiplayer is the addition of the Panzerstorm map. As its trailer shows, Panzerstorm is a huge open area in the countryside, filled with green and minimum constructions for coverage. This one is a versatile map. You can find yourself in matches where both teams go head-to-head to war, or others where infantry and air forces will determine the outcome. Content creators that have played Panzerstorm already feel like there's no room for infantry in this map, but we feel like this must be the map where tanks and aircrafts will shine the most. Training grounds. One thing that players demanded since the release of Battlefield 5 is the addition of a training area where they can try out their newly acquired weapons, estimate their damage output, and try different hitting spots for vehicles. DICE is releasing the training grounds where you can do all that and more. While this sounds like a classic training mode, you can enter it with your squad too. That way, you can strategize while shooting targets or just create chaos for a bit. New weapons, items, camos, etc. What would a new piece of DLC be without the addition of new items to unlock or acquire in-game? Overture will bring new weapons, customization items, camos for your favorite weapons, and more. Issue fixes, rebalances. Apart from new additions, Overture also brings much-needed changes to weapons and issues that were spotted during gameplay. DICE has fixed a series of problems mentioned in the official patch notes, and you'll be happy to find out that some of the most annoying issues, like weapons not unlocking after leveling up, have been fixed. Automatic spawn disable. One thing we needed, but we didn't know about it, is the absence of automatic spawn. DICE will be disabling the feature in all modes except Final Stand. This way, players who are AFK for a bit won't be thrown into battle just to be instantly killed. This will ultimately bring more balance to the multiplayer portion of Battlefield 5. Less airplane ammo. In Overture, you'll see an array of changes for aircrafts, most of which are destined to make the mechanic more balanced and fair to all players. For starters, we'll see a reduction of ammo for machine guns and cannons, changing the playstyle a bit. DICE has stated that this will make ammo reloading a balancing factor for weapons too, something that is needed for air forces in the game. Airplane zoom and damage to parts. In addition, players in the first person inside the cockpit can now have a 2x zoom of the battlefield, making scouting easier. Shooting from above now becomes more tactical than just spraying bullets into the earth. Especially in squads, we'll see pilots posing as scouters, letting teammates know what to expect ahead of them. Furthermore, we'll see a reduction to the damage airplane parts take from LMGs and a buff to the health of the engine of airplanes. This will make airplanes stay in the sky longer without having to back down due to one part being destroyed. Rebalances. To close up the Air Force changes, we have rebalance changes to some of the weapons used from above. In particular, the Stuka 37mm cannons have been adjusted to be more effective in direct fire against vehicles and less effective in splash against infantry. In addition, the 8X MG specialization on the Spitfire has a new overheat behavior, and the Bf-109's Minengeschoss now performs similarly to a single default cannon against fighters, but has seen a damage reduction against bombers. Blind fire. Among the changes in Overture, you'll find the ability to duck while shooting a mounted weapon. This will eliminate any chance of you being hit by a bullet and will also allow you to shoot blindly. Catch-up changes. DICE is also tweaking the catch-up system during matches by triggering it only when the difference between teams is big enough. This will make things fun even for teams that didn't stand a chance without providing assistance to close-score matches. Panzerfaust rework. The last big addition to Battlefield 5 with the release of Overture is a rework to the anti-tank Panzerfaust. As DICE announced, it is now designed to be simple ranged damage against tanks and has been adjusted to have less spiky damage. Panzerfausts are now much more useful against tanks, being able to disable parts of it easily if precise. You can always join the training grounds and do your shooting with a weapon there to find out how to make it 100% useful. This pretty much sums up all the important changes coming today to Battlefield 5 with the addition of the Tides of War Chapter 1 Overture. Jump into The Last Tiger to find another emotional story during World War II, and we'll be seeing you in the Panzerstorm map for some open field battles.